Hi there, I want to take a look at making a glitch image. A glitch image, I suppose, is trying to replicate an old-fashioned TV broadcast where there's kind of interference in the picture. You know when they're transmitting from the moon and it goes Bzzz. It's that kind of thing. So here's one we made earlier, so we'll just delete everything we've done and go back to our starting point. So I've got a photo of a little metal grommet I found out walking about. I was walking around, not it. So I'm going to duplicate up the layer by dragging it down to the plus. I've already converted it into a smart object to allow me to modify it. To do that, you can just do right click, convert to smart object. But this one's already there. Then I want to go to image, adjustments, hue saturation, and turn saturation right the way down to nothing. And we'll call this layer the desaturated one. Desaturated layer, so we know which one we're talking about. Next, I want to right click on the grey here and go to blending options, which will pop this up. You can also just double click on the grey background of the layer to get to the same thing. I want to click blending options, which is the second one down here, and we've got advanced blending. I want to uncheck red like that, and you should see the image go a little bit pink, which is kind of what we're after. Then I can click on the move tool, and I'm just going to start tapping on the arrow keys to move the whole thing to the right, which creates that kind of a disconnected image. If you're old enough to remember 3D TV, it used to look a little bit like that with the anaglyph glasses. Okay, so we've got that kind of effect going on, which just makes it look like a little bit detached. Next I want to go down to filter, wave I'm looking for. Where's wave gone? Stylize, noise. Under distort, filter, distort, wave. And this little window pops up. Now, we've got a whole bunch of settings. These are the ones that I've been using, but the more generations use, you can see in the little preview window, the more crazy distorted the whole image gets until it's completely unidentifiable. I'm thinking something around 24-ish was fine. We can also adjust the wavelength, and you can see the image change as I scroll across that until we get kind of quite a broken looking image. I had it set to 1 because I quite liked it, and I think there's a minimum and maximum length. So minimum 1, maximum I was using 445, which is about here-ish. But anything around there looks pretty good. 445 it is though. Amplitude, again minimum, maximum values. Again, if you go all the way to the right, it goes crazy. So just kind of dialing it in, just so it's, you've got to think in your mind, what does that look like? So that's 67. 67, yeah, that's about fine. Scale, horizontal and vertical. Now you want to keep your vertical as low as possible, otherwise it just gets a bit too crazy. I was using 37, but anywhere along there is pretty good. Yeah, 37 just seems to be about the sweet spot. It's also important you've got this set to square. You want to do that first, because you've got sine wave, triangle and square. By all means experiment with the other ones. So you can get it how you like it, and you can also click randomize a few times, and it just tries a few and just pick one you like. I like that. So I'm going to OK that, and it'll do a bit of processing, and you can see we get this Bzzz effect. Next thing I would like to do is duplicate this entire layer again. So I'm going to drag it down to my layers panel to create a new layer. We've got desaturated layer copy. Next I want to put those kind of I think these scan lines on old televisions used to have them. Now those are hidden away in the filter gallery. Filter gallery, half-tone pattern. Where's is it? Yeah, it's under sketch in here. Sketch, half-tone pattern. By default it seems to be set to circle. No, it doesn't. It's set to dot. Now dot is the kind of half-tone pattern you'd get if you've got a magnifying glass on a newspaper photograph. But there's also circle, which is quite a cool effect. Let's just zoom out so we can see what's happening on the image. This is like maybe like an alien scanner. But line is the one I want to use, and I've got it set to 3 and 18. But by all means, mess with them. The bigger the size is, the thicker the lines go. So that's more like one of the original tellies. And contrast, again, you can play with dial it up, dial it down. Somewhere about the 9 mark seems to work quite nicely. So I'm going to OK that. Now because I've created this on a separate layer than my original one, it means I can then dial down my opacity and kind of blend the two images in together, so I haven't got too much of the black and white half-tone pattern kind of over complicating the image. So I've gone about 61%. Yeah, and that's about it. So have a go at that with well, you can try it with your family photos and see if you can make it look like it's being broadcast from Mars. Brilliant. Thank you for watching.